What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We are talking about Dark Dimension 4 today. I'm going to talk about who I'm taking in there because it's going to be a little bit different from what you see with a lot of people. It's kind of what I've been going back and forth on, so I haven't really made a video yet, but I've kind of pretty much narrowed down my list on who I'm going to be taking in, and I'm going to talk about who I'm taking, why I am taking those members, and kind of my whole rationale and thoughts behind it. Because you see a lot of people who push for like Captain America and Black Widow and Global. I'm not doing that for reasons. So I'm gonna just go by group and talk about who I'm taking in there and what I'm like, just my plan of thought is, and just kind of what I'm hoping to do with that. But if you're looking to do Dark Dimension 4, you need a total of 16 characters at tier 15. Now the first 3 nodes you can do with any 5 members who are at tier 14. You have to have 5 members in order to launch it, which I found out I had 4 at tier 15. I was like, all right, let's do this. And then it wouldn't let me. So you have to have 5 characters at tier 15 in order to complete the first 3 nodes. And then the next 3 nodes require non-legendary global. So any global characters are legendary like Phoenix. You will not be able to take them in because, well, unfortunately so. Phoenix and Nick Fury, you cannot take them in here for these non-legendary global. There are 3 nodes of that. Then there's 3 nodes of non-legendary cosmic. And then after that, you have 3 nodes of non-legendary city. And then finally, you have 3 nodes where you have to bring in 4 legendary characters. So, yeah, it's a bit of a grind. Unfortunately, you have to have 4 members of each. We were hoping that maybe you could swing with like 3, like we could with Dark Dimension 3. Not the case. So you will have to have 4 members for each section that you're going through. So you will need a grand total of 16 characters at tier 14. So who am I taking? Well, let's start with global, and also I'm gonna go ahead and shout out this from Punk and Wolverthor. They did this graphic where if you want to take a look at characters who are going to require uniques to go up to tier 15, there's this whole graphic here, and they have it separated down by legendaries, then your global, cosmic, and city with your biotech, mystic, skill, mutant characters. And that is something you really should keep in mind, is that you have to have these uniques on characters in order to take them up to tier 15, much like we had with mini uniques going up to tier 14. So your goal should be ideally any character that requires 90. That is a character you're going to want to skip taking up to tier 15, because that's going to be a bit of a grind. That means they have 5 gear pieces going from 14 to 15 that require uniques on them. That is a grind. That is a big grind. So any characters that are here at 90, I'm going to skip. So Hela right here in Cosmic, not going to do it. I'm going to skip her. Also going to end up skipping Nick Fury and Magneto. Both of those are legendaries. I had originally thought about taking Nick Fury, and then I realized that he needs 5 pieces with uniques on them to go to tier 15, and that kind of turned me off because I'm already using my skill for other characters. Magneto's a solid character, great mutant, but 90 pieces for him, oof, I'm going to pass on that. And Phoenix only requires 3, Doc Ock only requires 3, Ebony Maw requires 4, and Invisible Woman requires 3. And those are the 4 legendaries that I'm taking up here. It's a diverse cast of your gear pieces here. Invisible Woman requires bio, Doc Ock requires tech, Ebony requires mystic, and Phoenix requires mutant. But also, if you are going to be going for Dark Dimension 4, the important thing is that you want to make sure you have characters who are pretty much, going to have these health steal abilities. So any character that has the ability to steal health, like let's say Phoenix, whenever she goes in a Dark Phoenix mode, she's able to use this Vitality Drain, which steals max health from enemies and distributes to herself. She has this ability. So any characters that can do that are an automatic great character to have go into Dark Dimension 4. Same with Ghost. Ghost is a global character, and she was made to be a Dark Dimension killer. And that's what you're getting here with her. She's great with this. You know, her Quantum Explosion can steal 15% health from all enemies, so that's great, but also her passive. You know, the offense down on enemy turns, which is great. It's like Yo-Yo. She gains bonus speed, she applies evade to herself, and then if any Pimtech ally dodges, she heals that ally for 15% of her max health. So yeah, I mean, she's a great option to bring into Dark Dimension 4. She's global, and also her ultimate here that steals health also prolongs negative effects on the enemy. So if you have characters who are applying out like slow or other effects, you can extend it here with her ultimate, and that is great. I love that. Plus her Fatal Flux can apply offense down and defense down to an enemy target, and then can transfer one positive effect from that target to herself. She gains bonus focus for this attack. I mean, yeah, she's an easy option for that. So my legendary characters are going to be Doc Ock, Phoenix, Ebony Maw, and Invisible Woman. Now, I'm also doing Invisible Woman because she has great synergy with Doctor Doom, who is your prize for Dark Dimension 4. So, you know, anytime that a Fantastic Four ally or Doom falls below 50% health, he and those allies gain 50% speed bar and gain ability energy. Plus, Invisible Woman just has barrier. She can cleanse debuffs. She has great synergy with Doctor Doom. I'm going to use her with Doctor Doom. So if I'm using her with Doom, might as well take her up to tier 15 at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, basically you have to figure out 4 legendary characters, and then you have to go through and find 4 city characters that are not legendary characters, so you can't use Doc. And then at the same time, you have to find 4 global characters that are not legendary. And you can see I have Zemo and Ghost and Emma Frost all at tier 15 already. And then I'm going to finish it up here with Mr. Sinister taking the tier 15. Those are going to be my 4 global characters. And then also you have to do the same thing for Cosmic, where, again, I've got Thanos here. And then I'm working on Ebony Maw for my legendary, but I'm going to use Corvus and Proxima. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And I'm not going to bother with Hela, and I am going to use Minerva as well. So Minerva is my next project. I've now finished Ghost with her tech here. Now Minerva is going to be next, and then once I finish Minerva, I'm going to finish Doc Ock. And I want to kind of go in the order of the nodes here so that I can get my global characters done first, then my Cosmic, then my City, and then my legendary characters next. So Minerva's next up because she's a Cosmic character. She comes before the legendary characters. So basically what you want to also do is then figure out, you have to go through these different traits. So bio, your skill, your tech, your mutant, and your mystic. And that's where you want to kind of spread things out as well. So for bio, I'm doing Symbiote Spider-Man, I'm doing Anti-Venom, and I'm doing Carnage, and then I'm doing Invisible Woman. I'm doing 3 symbiotes, and then I'm going to use a 4th city character. And this one I'm still kind of up in the air about until I looked at some more stuff this morning, and I figured out who I want to go for there. But yeah, I mean, your symbiotes in Dark Dimension, that's an easy one. Symbiote Spider-Man, he makes them great for Dark Dimension. You know, negative effects heal symbiote and Hero Spider-Verse allies. They have bonus max health. They're just great for Dark Dimension. They could auto Dark Dimension 3. Bio characters were great for that. Anti-Venom has the ability to apply positive effects to the whole team. He's like Nick Fury in this. He can also revive. So he's an easy option to take up for symbiotes as well. So yeah, symbiotes, Symbiote Spider-Man, Anti-Venom, and Carnage. I mean, what do you need to say about Carnage at this point? This passive basically fuels the symbiotes and makes them really great too as well. So those are my 3 bio characters I'm taking for City. And then for my final City one, I went back and forth on this, and I came down to 2 options. I can either do Ghost Rider, or I could do Merc Lieutenant or Vulture. Where's my Vulture at? And yeah, here's my Vulture. And I kind of came to the idea of, you know what? I'm going to do Ghost Rider because I only have 2 Mystic characters that I'm doing right now, and Thanos and Ebony Maw. And ideally, you want to have at least 3 of each trait with a 4th one for one of those traits, so you can kind of spread things around. I'm not doing Hela because Asgardians are really falling off a cliff. Now with symbiotes out, your Asgardians just don't hold on defense anymore. You use symbiotes to counter Asgardians in Alliance War. And I mean, they're still a decent blitz team, but Asgardians have really kind of fallen down the ladder now. We have Skilled Military coming out soon, which is also supposed to be an Asgardian counter. So the power of Hela has kind of fallen off for me. And while I could do Ultimus and Hela both require 5 pieces of Mystic gear with uniques on them. That's pretty hefty. Ghost Rider here is a city character. He's Mystic. He has the ability to apply debuffs, and he also gains speed bar anytime that negative effect is applied to an enemy. So with those 3 symbiotes out there applying negative effects everywhere, Ghost Rider is just going to keep moving and moving. He gains bonus max health, bonus focus. I mean, yeah, I like him. I'm going to take him up to tier 15 as my 4th city character and as my 3rd Mystic character. That one I think is just, I just feel better about doing that versus Hela. And if these rumors of Blade are true and that we are getting him and he's going to help boost the Supernatural team, Ghost Rider is going to become a lot better. Ghost Rider kind of carries that Supernatural team as it is, But yeah, I mean, I just feel a lot better using Ghost Rider than Hela here because I'm just not hot on the Asgardians anymore. So I mean, most people I would see them doing Hela because of that with the Cosmic team, but yeah, I'm kind of changing things up there, and that's what I'm kind of going for. I want to make sure I use characters that I know are gonna be good or actually gonna get some mileage out of them at the same time. And that's why I'm doing Corvus Glaive and Proxima for Cosmic as well. They're both skill characters, so it's going to take a little bit longer to gear them up, but it's Black Order. And Black Order is like the meta team right now. So if I can take 4 members of Black Order up to tier 15, get Doctor Doom, and still make my Black Order better, it's a win-win in my book. So yeah, both these characters require 4 pieces with skill uniques on them. That's fine. I will get them geared up. But that means in the end, I'll have Thanos, Ebony, Corvus, and Proxima all up to tier 15 by the time I finish my first run of DD4, and then I can take Cull Obsidian and take them up to tier 15 with the bonus gear I get from completing DD4, and that will get me my a full tier 15 Black Order team. That's what I'm kind of going for there. So we've talked City, we've talked Cosmic. Global is Baron, Ghost, Emma, and Mr. Sinister. Now there's 2 mutant characters here, and I'm using Phoenix as my 3rd mutant character, and she's for Legendary. But outside of that, you don't have a lot of... Most of your mutants are kind of condensed into Global. Now, there has changed up a little bit. Cable, Shatterstar, and Longshot are all now Cosmic mutants. But, I mean, it's one of those things. Cable, he's okay with X-Force, but you're not really gearing him up. Your X-Force kind of hinges upon Negasonic and X-23 being high gear. So Cable's kind of eh. And then Shatterstar and Longshot, they are great. I have a feeling down the road when we get the full X Factor team, that team's going to be fantastic, and it would just make sense. So you could go for those 2 characters and get like your Cosmic roster kind of filled out and use some of that mutant gear. But Emma Frost and Mr. Sinister, I just like them better. That Emma Marauder's team is very powerful in war defense. It's a decent blitz team. It's pretty powerful, and Emma Frost is kind of like one of those characters, like she can just kind of hold the fort on her own. She's very hard to take down if you have a powerful Emma Frost, so she was a no-brainer for me. Mr. Sinister, I mean, his clones, the more you gear him up, the better off his clones are going to be, so that makes him more annoying to deal with. So Mr. Sinister, taking him to tier 15 as well, kind of makes sense to me, and then that gives me 3 mutants, so that I can kind of condense gear on them and then focus on other characters for other rosters. So yeah, Emma Frost, Mr. Sinister, and Phoenix, those are my 3 mutants. That's who I'm going for Global. Red Guardian and Yelena, we'll come back to them later. I believe Yelena only needs like 3 or 4 pieces of skill to go up to tier 15. Red Guardian requires 5, so I'm not big on that. But yeah, so Global, we've taken care of Global, we've taken care of City, Cosmic. What else do we have? I think that's it. And I talked about Mystic, I talked about my tech characters, and I talked about Bio. I talked about, actually, you know what, let's go back to Bio, because people want to take Captain America up to tier 15. It's great for Global. It really allows you to plow through the Global nodes, but that's Bio gear you're putting on Captain America that you could be putting on your Symbiotes instead. And Symbiotes are my premier raid team. They're a team I use for everything in raids. So I'm kind of going to focus on Symbiotes before I focus on Captain America. And while Avengers are a good war defense team, you get more mileage out of that symbiote squad, and that's why I'm going to focus on them, and that's why I'm not bothering with Captain America. If I put gear on Captain America, that means I'm just neglecting gear away from my symbiotes, and I'm not going to do that. I just can't really. Scream's another good option, by the way. She only needs 3 pieces of tier 15, I believe. Yeah, there's 1, 2, and I think... No, she only needs 2 pieces of tier 15. So if you're going for an easy bio gear for City, Scream's a pretty good option here. But since I'm already using 3 symbiotes and Invisible Woman, Scream's kind of like a side project. If I can get enough bio gear for her before after I finish my other bio projects, and I'm still working on Ghost Rider, I may switch over to Scream at that point. So yeah, I want to hear from you guys. What are you guys doing for Dark Dimension 4? I'm kind of giving my rationale and who I'm using here. I want to hear from you guys. What are you guys using? Who are you guys gearing up for Dark Dimension 4? Let me know down below. But if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.